It's summer, and a certain amount of sweating is normal, but for some people, it is a big problem.
Out of nowhere, like my other body parts aren't sweating, but just problem with the armpit sweat.
They say never let them see you sweat. Sometimes it's impossible, and the results can be embarrassing. In fact, it can ruin a lot of clothing.
Yeah, our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here this evening with a brand new treatment that permanently eliminates sweaty armpits and apparently has some other side benefits, Dr. McGeorge.
That's right, it does. You know, in recent years, many people plagued with excessive underarm sweat have turned to Botox injections to relieve the problem. Unfortunately, these are expensive and they're just temporary, but now there's a much better solution. Kelly Kersey of Dearborn has had a real problem with sweaty armpits for a long time.
As long as I can remember, and I think when I was in junior high, when starting to become more self-conscious of it and trying to alter my clothes and what I would wear depending on if I thought I was going to have an issue with armpit sweat.
And it seriously affected some big moments in her life.
My wedding, the dress, you know, it wasn't just choose the wedding dress I want. I wanted to make sure I chose one that wouldn't leave a lining or a stain, so no chiffon or silk. I had a heavy beading on that area.
Dr. Anthony Yoon, a Troy plastic surgeon, says it's a common problem.
About 1 in 5 Americans suffer from excessive underarm sweat, and we typically define this as people who are sweating even if the room is cool.
It can be in a freezing cold air-conditioned room, and I can still have a problem.
Enter a procedure called Miradry.
And it really is the only thing out of its kind. The Miradry device uses microwaves, and these microwaves will actually bypass the skin, leaving the skin intact, and will destroy the sweat glands below it.
The procedure is done in the office and starts out with tiny injections of numbing medication. Once the armpit is numb, the Miradry device is used. The handpiece suctions up a patch of skin to treat one area at a time.
Let me know if you feel anything, okay? So it enters a period where it heats up the sweat glands to destroy them, and then it cools afterwards. Now this should be pretty numb, so you may feel a little bit of pulling, but hopefully you won't feel any actual pain.
Because it treats the tissues under the skin, it has a bonus effect. It also destroys the hair follicles, so no more hairy armpits either.
Because these sweat glands are destroyed and they don't regrow, we have every reason to believe that this is as permanent can be.
I'm really looking forward to being able to wear whatever I want because clothes are a big deal to me.
We usually recommend 2 treatments spaced 3 months apart for maximal results. That being said, the vast majority of people will get a nice change in just 1 treatment.
The biggest risks include bruising and temporary discomfort and swelling. The major downside? The cost. It's not covered by insurance and runs from $2,500 to $3,000 for 2 treatments. But for people who've suffered from excess sweat for years, it may be money well spent. Kelly says she's looking forward to the change in her life.
If you're not embarrassed and feeling self-conscious, you're not going to be able to be yourself.
Now, Kelly reports after 1 treatment, she has stopped sweating from her underarm, and she would do it again, although she did mention you shouldn't plan on doing anything strenuous for a couple days after the procedure because there is some soreness. Now, you can learn much more about Miradry at clickondetroit.com/health.
Miradry, but for now, just underarms because people have sweating issues all over. Or can.
Well, that's exactly right. Right now, it's really just limited to the armpits. Maybe one day there will be a smaller application for the hands or somewhere else on the body, but right now it is just the armpits. But it's pretty cool technology.
Yeah, good news for some folks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
It's very annoying at worst.
Thanks, Doc. Here's a look what we're